If you're a fan of WWE but struggle to keep up with the shows weekly, here's everything that went down on Monday Night Raw to keep you up to date. Let's talk about it. First thing we see on Monday Night Raw is the World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk. He comes out to do his championship celebrations. He then says anyone can get it and lists off a load of names, including JD McDonough. But who interrupts him? Logan Paul. Logan Paul says that he should be first in line, but they then get interrupted by Braun Squared. They tell Logan Paul to leave. He goes to leave. They put a beat down on Punk. What does Logan Paul do? He actually helps. Then we had Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez versus Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella in tag team action. This was a decent match. It was very 50-50 the whole way through, which I guess it kind of had to be, but it ended up with JD getting the upper hand and then they got the win. But now we know next week we've got Raquel versus Stephanie for the title. Then we had Penta versus El Grande Americano. Firstly, it's always a pleasure to watch Penta wrestle because he is just that good. El Grande tried his underhand tactics. He even had his goons at ringside trying to help out as well, but they both got themselves ejected and Penta managed to get the win. Dirty Dom then comes out and cuts a promo, says he's the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time and the greatest lucha of all time. Who cuts him off? His dad, Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio then says you can be the greatest IC champ all time if you want, but you'll never be the best lucha, especially when I'm around. You're not as good as me. You're not as good as Eddie Guerrero. Dom then says, keep my dad's name out your mouth, which I thought was great. I think they're going to have an IC title match. We have back-to-back promos here because Becky Lynch jumps on the announce table next. She starts cutting down the crowd, cutting down Maxine Dupree to a point where she says, the next time you face me, it's going to be your last in the ring. Becky then goes to leave and the Kabuki Warriors come out. They cross paths and Asuka stares down at the IC title. Are we going to get that match? We then had the Kabuki Warriors versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Now, I'm not a massive fan of Bird Lady, but you can't deny she is good in the ring. Kabuki Warriors had the upper hand in this match for the most part, I would say. Bayley and Lyra tried their best, but it wasn't enough because the Kabuki Warriors got the win. They then went to attack them after the match, but they were saved by Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Asuka wants the IC title, but does she also want the tag belts with Kairi Sane? We then had a World Tag Team title match, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defending against Finn Balor and JD McDonough. If there's one match you go and watch this week from Monday Night Raw, make sure it's this because it was a banger, fast-paced throughout. Dom tries to help, gets taken out by Sheamus. AJ gets hit with a shillelagh. JD McDonough gets a coup de grace, but after all said and done, and still tag team champions, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. We then found out the first two matches happening in John Cena's Last Time Is Now tournament, and they're kicking off next week. The first one being this, Rusev versus Damian Priest, and the second one being this, Sheamus versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Then in the main event, we had main event Jey Uso teaming up with CM Punk to take on Braun Squared. There was a lot of back and forth in this match, but they had to be because they need to keep all four of these guys looking strong. So much so, and not a lot of people are going to like this, but the match actually ended up in a count out. They then put a beat down on Jey Uso after the match. CM Punk grabs a chair and saves him. Braun and Bronson both grab a chair. They look like they're about to hit Punk. Who comes out to help CM Punk? Logan Paul. But is he there to help him? No, because he smacks him around the face with the knuckle duster. He then hands that knuckle duster to Paul Heyman. They have a little stare off against each other and Monday Night Raw ends. Now that you're up to date with everything that happened on Monday Night Raw, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.